Hey guys, it's Lily. So today I wanted to do a video in something that I'm going to try and make a series where I talk about something I'm passionate about and tell you guys what I do to try and be proactive in my beliefs. So today's video I'm going to do the environment. I grew up in a family with really strong beliefs in helping the environment in any way that you can, and I'm really thankful for that because I love Era and I want to help it in any way I can before we kill it. Also, just before I start with my list of things, I just want to say that I am not in any way saying that you have to do this. It's just a suggestion, you know, if you want to try it, that's cool. If you're not interested, that's also completely fine. I just thought that maybe some people out there would be interested, and also I really want to just share a bit more about myself and help you guys understand what type of person I am. So let's get right into it. So the first one is pretty obvious. I think a lot of people, when they think about being environmentally friendly, this is the first thing that they think of, and it's to reuse anything that you can or recycle anything that you can. So at my house we have a recycling bin and we also have a recycling bag. We recycle glass jars, glass bottles, cardboard, paper, and thick, thin plastic bags. So with the plastic bags we have a big, larger plastic bag that we roll up and put all the smaller plastic bags in, and then that all goes to the recycling plant at some point. And then for like glass bottles and glass jars, we reuse them to put like crackers or nuts or snacks, or me and my dad use some of the jars to put drinks in, like I make iced chai or my dad makes himself iced coffee with turmeric in it, or we put like juices or smoothies or coconut oil, hemp oil, and sometimes we put like sausages in them if we have leftovers, curry. You can pretty much use it for anything you want. So yeah, I think that's a very good thing to have in your kitchen. We don't use any plastic storage in our kitchen because we just don't want to buy plastic and contribute to the plastic usage. So yeah, that's one of the ways that we reuse anything that we can. Another way we do it is we make our own soy wax candles, and when we finish a candle, so it comes down to like here and you can't burn it anymore, we will put all the candles aside with that little bit of wax, and then when we're making candles again we'll scrape the wax that's in there out and put it in the pot that we're using to melt all the wax together, and then we'll just use it and pour it back into the containers, and then we have new candles. The second one is a bit controversial because I know not many people can afford to do this, but I do have ways to do it cheaply, which I'm going to tell you, and that is not shopping at any fast fashion place. The fashion industry has a really big impact on our environment. Not only the chemicals they use to dye and produce these fabrics harmful to the environment, but also the way that they produce the plants that make the fabrics is harmful because they spray them with pesticides or they use GMO, so that's obviously not good, and I don't want to support that because the garment workers are underpaid 90% of the time. They have horrible working conditions, and in lots of cases buildings collapse and people die, people get disfigured, and they have no cover from it for their workplace, which is paying them the bare minimum. So think somewhere between 50 cents to $1 a month. That is just insane that people are expected to live on that kind of money, and it's just not okay. I will never ever support that again. I recently watched The Total Cost on Netflix. I suggest that if you want to know more about the impact of the fashion industry on the environment, you watch that, and that's what really changed my mind. I already shop at a lot of vintage and op shops, and you know, hardly ever shop at fast fashion places unless they have a sale, but after seeing that I never want to do it again. So the way that I do this cheaply is I shop at op shops, I shop on Depop for secondhand things, and if I want something maybe a little nicer I'll go to a thrift or a vintage store, which are more expensive but still better for the environment. And then if you have a little bit more money to spend or you want to save up, there are heaps of brands out there that are fair trade and environmentally friendly and so amazing. There's Reformation and Ecotree, just to name two. So that's one thing. Another thing that can help the environment to do with fashion is to avoid any fabrics with plastic or chemicals in them. So avoid latex, polyester, nylon, faux fur, faux leather, unless it's vegan. And then fabrics that are good to buy are cotton, bamboo, hemp, and linen. So that's just a little more for you to think about. about. So I wanted to show you guys that you can get cute outfits from op shops if you look properly. So the top I'm wearing is from Depop, and then the pants that I'm wearing are from Vinnie's. I also have a lot of other things that are just secondhand. So just looking in my wardrobe right now, here are a few different options of secondhand things. So this coat, super cute, and it's totally in fashion right now, was a hand-me-down from my dad. He wore this when he was younger. This dress was secondhand from an Instagram store, and it's Tree of Life. It's so pretty. They're usually so expensive, but I got this for like 20 bucks. It's just so beautiful and could work for any occasion. Then this coat, which is also super cute, I got from Vinnie's. And then you can also get shoes and things secondhand. I got these shoes from Vinnie's for $15, and they are not real leather. They are vegan leather, and they're super cute and comfy. Then I also got these Nikes, which I would never buy Nike new, but they were secondhand from my sister. So that's just a few ways you can help. And buying secondhand also reduces the amount of clothes that are going into landfill, which reduces our impact on the environment yet again. So the next thing I have on my list is locally buying food. Now you may not think that getting food from other places has a big impact on the environment, but the carbon footprint does. So the petrol emissions that go into the air, that is breaking down our ozone layer, the chemicals used to make these products, the jet fuel used to fly these products here, it is so much lower if you just support local businesses. So an example of this is finding a really good organic food store in your local area, or going to food markets, or just going online and trying to do a bit of research. Every bit counts, and it usually isn't that much more expensive than stuff from other places. So that's a good one to try. So this one is a bit harder because literally everything has plastic packaging, but don't buy things with plastic packaging if you can. It is okay to break this rule sometimes, and that goes for everything. It is okay to break these rules sometimes, but if you try to do it as much as you can, it just starts with you. So if you're doing this as much as you can, then you will make an impact. And then if someone else sees what you're doing and starts to try and think about what they're doing a little more, you see it just goes on and on and on, and then we can truly make a difference. So that one is super hard, but it can be done. My family, we have always been like that, and we only shop at like local grocery stores, and you know, a lot of the things we buy do not have plastic on them, but if they do, we recycle the plastic. Okay, this one's about the dairy industry. So the dairy industry mistreats their animals, not always, but a lot of the time. They also have a limit for how much pus and blood and fat goes into their cream, their yogurt, their milk, their cheese, and that's just, well, this is more of a taste thing. I just don't like that thought in my head when I am drinking something or eating something, so that's why I don't do it. But it's also because I don't like the way it affects the environment. These machines that pump milk out of these cows, they really hurt them and, you know, cause them a lot of stress. Hardly any places hand milk cows anymore. So, and there's also hormones that they put in the mothers to keep them producing milk even when they're not pregnant or not nursing a calf, which I think is just horrible and unnatural and shouldn't be happening. So a way that I try to reduce my dairy intake is I drink almond milk or coconut milk, and you can use these as substitutes for things like milk and cream. Cream is a hard one because there's not that many dairy-free options, so I get if you find that a hard one to cut out, which is totally understandable, but it's easy, well, easier with milks. But one that you should not use is soy. The way that they produce soy is really bad. They spray it with pesticides and it's just not good. Also, a lot of the people who gather soy and plant it and grow it are underpaid and cause horrible deforestation, pollution of water tables, pollution of soil, and just make the land unusable. So there's that. My next point is saving water. You may think this one's pretty obvious, but a lot of people unconsciously subconsciously waste a lot of water by leaving the tap on while they're brushing their teeth, leaving the tap on while they're lathering their soap or lathering soap on their body. Just things like that that can just save a lot of water if you just turn the tap off for like even a few seconds in between. It adds up and it saves a lot of water. Another one to do with water is when you have oil residue or chemical residue, do not put it down the sink. This pollutes our rivers, it pollutes our oceans, and it is so bad for the environment. A way to dispose of chemicals and oils is you can have a bag of old paper towels and pour oil or chemicals on top of them so they're soaked up, and put it in the bin. Another one is to dig a small hole in your backyard and pour your oil and chemicals in there and then cover it up. Covering it up is very important because animals may get into your hole and make a huge mess, so you've got to cover it up unless you want oily birds and rodents running around in your backyard, and I don't think anyone wants that. Plus, we don't want these animals getting into the chemicals and hurting themselves, causing damage to their skin, to their fur, to their eyes, to their claws, so that one's very important. Another one that I think is really important is alternative energy, so solar panels, wind power, water power, you know, using alternative oils for petrol like hemp oil or compost petrol. Now these ones are clearly not a reality yet, but I think if we keep asking for it and keep researching, that maybe it could be a big part of our lives one day. So I just wanted to bring that up so that we were thinking about it. Another one is compost, so any vegetable waste, any natural waste, so any organic waste can be composted, and then it grows into a beautiful fertilizer for your garden, and the circle of life continues. This one is a big one for me because it's actually really fun. You get to meet a lot of people who are just super happy most of the time and just having a good old time. So we have a big problem with deforestation on this planet, everyone knows this, but a big positive is there are large groups of people who dedicate their time to planting trees throughout the year. So if you can volunteer to plant trees, I highly recommend that you do that. It's a good time, it's a feel-good thing. This one's a huge one, especially with young people, who I myself have done this a lot of times and not even thought about the impact. So this is drinks in plastic cups, plastic straws, plastic bottles. They are so detrimental to the environment. They are just wasted. I think it's okay if they're recycled plastic, or if you have your own keep cup that is metal or glass or ceramic, and also use metal straws when you can. This other one is in the same realm but not really. So this one is don't use plastic cutlery or any one-use plastics. So for example, there's razors or chip packets, you know, like shapes that come in those little plastic wrappers, and they have like all the flavors in the box, and then you can just like try not to do that. There are so many alternative snacks. You can make your own biscuits. I'm sure I've missed a few things that have a huge impact in our environment, but this is just what I came up with off the top of my head today. If you have any questions or anything to say to me on this topic, please comment it down below. I'm happy to have a discussion. I think it's so important that we keep the discussion going on all of this. And if you have any topics that you would like me to talk about, like LGBT rights, I'm really passionate about that, animal rights, education, politics. So yeah, that was all I have for you guys today. Please leave me a like and a comment, subscribe to my channel and press the little bell if you would actually like to see my content. Thank you so much for watching. I love you so much, and I will see you next video. Bye!